Tom.
And I'm Tanner.
Welcome to episode 155 of Bird Squawk.
All right, we got some good stuff to talk about, some bad stuff to talk about, some more speculation to talk about. Obviously, we'll talk about the elephant in the room because that's the big one. Gardner Johnson leaving on kind of a messy, weird, ugly departure type of thing. I mean, if you watched last week's episode, a lot went down. Obviously, Slay's back and all that went down. But we'll talk about CJ first. I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I think everyone around this fan base wanted him to be the main priority in the offseason. And it feels like they did make that. They addressed that right off the bat, did what they needed to do. And it feels like his agent played him, and then he kind of is like defending his. I don't know. It just like they look bad in my opinion.
It kind of felt like how he came out of the gate, gave him an offer. They overvalued what they thought they could get, and by the time they came back and said, "Hey, yeah, we'll take that," we had already moved on. So
exactly.
I mean, I'm seriously. We talked about this the other day. It was like how far we've come with Howie, like in Howie we trust now, where like for so many years we wanted to run this dude out of town.
Yeah.
But, the dude just somehow makes that cap work. And if you just said, right, we all said we're going to lose a bunch of players when free agency started.
Mm-hmm.
But if you'd have told us we'd have brought back Bradbury and Slay and BG and then throw in some Fletch,
whatever.
Hey,
and Kelsey,
and Kelsey and lock up Kelsey, we would have said, all right, that's good, man, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you really look at it, it doesn't, from where for kind of how we were overreacting a little bit last week's episode, kind of telling people to calm down. It's a little, I know it looks bad, but I mean, really, they addressed the needs. And for real, and we can talk about, obviously Slay came back, Bradbury already knew came back in last week's video. I mean, the Slay thing was like really weird. I mean, the Wednesday morning, obviously we taped last Tuesday, so everything kind of went down on Wednesday, and you were like, holy crap. Because the thing is, I personally felt more heartbroken that Slay left when he didn't even leave than I felt when Gardner Johnson eventually just ended. Because it became a saga for no reason.
And I feel like Slay saw the writing on the wall that they were going to give that money to CJ, and CJ just and his crew, whatever happened there. No hard feelings. I'm not going to get into any of that stuff. We wanted that kid back. He was a playmaker.
Yeah.
Wanted him back. There's a reason he's not with us.
There's something. Right? Yeah, exactly.
So, like we always say, we all we got, we all we need. We move on. Now it's the draft, man.
I mean, we'll talk about the draft shortly, but obviously Marcus Mariota, that'll be funny. Not that big of a deal, but if you've been around here for a while, you kind of get...
we did want him, man.
Back in the day, we wanted Marcus
Mariota.
Hey. Writing a little bit on the wall for me when I saw the Greedy Williams signing.
I like that one,
I like it. I mean, this is what I see. I don't know what you people think, but obviously D-line, I think we addressed that in the draft, and we'll get to that shortly. Linebacker, they've already addressed that. Like I said, it's Nakobe and this Nick Morrow guy. I don't know much about him. He was with the Bears last year.
Yeah, I feel like that dude might have a history with this Desse.
Maybe. That's true.
They brought him from the Bears. Desse was with the Bears a little bit.
I don't think that's it. But
I don't know. But, welcome to the Nakobe Dean era.
Yeah, I think I'm excited for that. And then obviously you brought Slay and Bradbury back. And I think this Greedy Williams signing is not just depth, but I think he's your new slot corner. And you got Ed Reed Blankenship. And then
the Ghost.
I think they move Avonte Maddox to safety because when he came back, I know he was hurt a lot last year, but when he came back when Chauncey was out, he played a little safety, and he played it actually pretty well. And then they signed Justin Evans.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know much about him either.
I think it's huge to just get Avonte to stay healthy for a season. You know what I mean? Stay on the field.
Yeah.
We're there. But that Greedy, I mean, I like that pickup. I mean, the dude went to LSU. I mean, there's no slouches going to LSU.
A lot of untapped potential.
DB, factory there.
Yeah, so, I agree. I think there's a lot of untapped potential there with him.
I think that was a little under the wire pickup there. little down low action there by Howie. Might have found another diamond in the rough. Who knows?
Maybe, but like realistically, they addressed stuff with the cap. I think I saw a post maybe Monday. I don't know how updated it is now at this point, but it put us at like 4.5 mil cap is kind of like what we're at right now. And like I said, there's going to be another smaller pickup here and there, most likely.
There'll be some cuts in camp, too.
Obviously.
You know what I mean? Once camp starts.
But the draft, here we go. We talked about the draft a little bit.
I just want to say this. I know it's crazy. But I'm reading more and more on it. And we have a bunch of picks next year. This kid from Texas at running back might make some sense.
All right, so here we go. I was going to get into that. So, obviously, everyone's overreacting a little bit because Bijan Robinson was in town. Obviously, probably met with the Birds. He posted on Instagram that of a few, I think, from like the Navy Yard at the link. So, he obviously was meeting with the Birds, a pre-draft visit. And yeah, I mean, is it a possibility at 10? Yes. When's the last time the Eagles drafted a running back the first round? I think like the 80s. So the odds that it's going to go down, very slim to none. Would I be mad? I don't know. But I don't look too deep into them meeting with him. Because if you remember a year ago, they took freaking Kenny Pickett out to dinner. And that was like smoke and mirrors. That was nothing. I mean, the only thing I see them taking Bijan Robinson is to keep him away from the Cowboys, because I think that's one of the Cowboys' main things, because they want to replace Zeke.
I mean, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think it really comes down to where we're gonna stay on that draft day,
yeah,
right? And who's on the board when our pick comes up, because there is the tried and true lineman,
which I feel is where they're at, either O or D line.
But, if there's one of those, if this Robinson kid's still on the board, or there's one of those big name safeties, I mean, I feel like this is the year to take that thing that we never take. Because next year we got a whole bunch of comp picks, and we're gonna still have picks next year. So go take this kid. If he's a definite, game changer, and he'll fit in this offense, and you got him on a cheap deal for the next 4 years, do it.
I mean, 100% he would be an asset, a weapon, and would thrive in this offense, without a doubt. And like I said, I would not hate it if they went out and took this kid. Because obviously a couple weeks ago we were looking corner, because we expected one of these guys to be walking. Obviously both of them are back, and also with corner, safety. That's not really a position they value overly too much in the draft. There's some good safeties. The kid out of Branch out of Bama is a stud. There's guys there.
Yeah.
It just depends on who they kind of want to go with. A lot of mock drafts I see is O-line or D-line. And it feels like they're going to go D-line because essentially, is running back a need? Kind of. Depending on who you talk to, running back's a need. I think D-lineman depth is a need. O-lineman I'm not too worried about this year. Safety, I don't essentially think it's a need if you're going to put a Avante back there, because I liked the way Reed played last year. There's holes, but holes that you would have thought would have been bigger by the way the free agency was going.
Yeah.
And they've kind of subdued some of that stuff with some of these smaller signings with Williams and Morrow and Evans. Like, they've addressed, it's obvious they saw they needed another corner, they needed another linebacker, and they needed another safety. They might not have gotten home run hitters here, but they went out and saw the three things on defense that they needed and addressed it.
Yeah.
So you can't knock them for that. It's just, I don't know. It would shock me. Like I said, it would shock me if they take him at 10, just because we talk about this all the time on this show. Running back is so expendable, but he would be a stud, man.
The window is right now, right?
Yeah.
We've got that team in place again to run this whole thing back, right? Get to Vegas and win this damn Super Bowl next year, like my man said, I didn't walk through that fire to just smell the smoke. So, it's time, man. I mean, it's time, and now it's a fun time, right? We go to the draft again. Everybody gets excited. I mean, that's the greatest thing, that playing this long into the season, all this stuff like kind of rolls into it, where we usually have been sitting around like waiting for this stuff.
Yeah, and then the other thing is the lineman, the D lineman, is that how comfortable is the team, or how comfortable you guys are is touching that Carter kid from Georgia. I mean, at this point, he may be there.
Another guy
and
might be there.
We talked about this the other day too, because I don't know. It's just, I don't like getting into those kind of ordeals, because it can go away or it could come back and it kind of blows up in your face. But he kind of brought up the idea of, not that we'll ever know this, but if Nakobe and Jordan Davis would go to Howie and say, like, would vouch for him, then I would be kind of chill with them drafting him. I don't know. It's just one of those slippery slopes. Is the kid good? Yeah. But is it really worth it? I don't know. It's just, I don't know what direction. Because, like, not just in our minds, but even in the Eagles' minds, it was being reported 2 weeks ago. They were taking that Witherspoon kid out of Illinois. It was, like, set in stone. And obviously things changed with bringing back both corners, and things are going to rotate. But
well, you know how there's a lot of smoke.
Oh, of course.
Being blown around at this time of the year.
Of
There's
course.
a lot of stuff with just setting up for where you are and getting people to think about where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that person we are thinking is definitely coming, they just pass by.
Yeah, they don't come. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. But that's the main thing. I mean, I know you said the whole trust in Howie thing, and I agree.
Trust in Howie.
The thing has come around that we do trust Howie. But this stage, the cap, the signings, that's not the thing I've ever been really stressed about.
No, it's the draft.
But the last two drafts, I give him credit. The last two drafts have been good. But if you can put 3 in a row, then I think you get the full trust back.
When Howie realized they play football in the SEC, I mean, things took off. And we're not even football people, and we knew that. You know?
Exactly.
We knew where the best players were. They weren't out on the West Coast.
Yeah.
You know,
like, I'm not scouting these dudes every day, but I could have told you that's just going to be the right play.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. And I do have faith after the 2 last drafts that he's going to keep this thing going. But obviously, we'll have to see what happens. And like you said, are we going to stay there? Are we going to move back? Are we going to move up?
I mean,
we'll
you know how he loves moving on draft day.
Exactly. So there's a lot of uncertainty still as we get closer. But at the moment,
I feel like we're the team, though, in the NFC East.
The roster is shaping up a little bit. I mean, you'll see what happens with the draft, with the 2 first-round picks, if we take them, whatever. But there's picks there to be made, and picks there to get some starters for this team in a couple needed spots. But we'll have to see where they go.
I mean, you look at it, you say Dallas, they get a little better, right?
I'm not scared of Brandon Cooks.
I mean, the Giants
Stephon
maybe
Gilmore
got a little better, but they still got Daniel Jones. Right? And Washington, you know, the bum Josh Harris might buy them.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, come on.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Obviously, as we get closer, I mean...
NFC runs through Philly.
It feels like camp will be here, like, next week. It really is moving fast. So, we'll see. But thank you guys always for watching. We'll be back next week, as always. Maybe a couple more free agency signings, more of the draft. But thank you guys always for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at birds_squawk. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.